So I have a shocking revelation for you. Last year, my credit score dropped all the way from the high 700s to 670, and I about nearly lost my mind. Hi everyone, this is Camilla the Focused Spender, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get out of debt, save more money, and invest so that you can build wealth and leave a lasting legacy. So last year, I made a strategic decision to use credit to finance some items that were going to cost a lot of money, and in such, I dropped my credit score really low, in my opinion, and needed a way to come out of it fast. So let's just rewind. So at the end of 2022, I had to make some rather large purchases, and I had to decide how I was going to make the purchase. So I knew I was going to be spending anywhere from, at minimum, $15,000 upwards to $25,000. And I had a couple of options. I could have gone into my savings account and drained it all. I could have sold some of my investments so that I could have just used the money to just pay it out. And I thought there has got to be a better way. So I really didn't want to touch my investment accounts because that was going to come with capital gains tax. And at my income level, that was going to start at about 15% and only go up from there. And I thought, I'm not paying 15% tax on money for anybody at this point. Like, this doesn't make any sense. There has got to be a better way. And also, my money has been saved in high yield savings account. And I thought if I could borrow money at a lower rate than what I'm getting in interest in my savings account, this will work out to my favor. And I thought, well, how am I going to do so? I really wasn't interested in taking out a loan, but I thought, you know what? There has got to be a better way. Let me think about using my credit card. Now, here's where I say I made a strategic decision, because my credit card interest rate probably is about 22%, number one. And two, my limit on my one and only credit card at that time was only about $8,000. So it really wasn't feasible. I didn't have enough credit to use for that purchase. And I also was going to be paying a lot in interest. So I thought, well, this is not going to work. Let me actually think about opening a second credit card and to see what kind of deals that I could get. My credit card company kept offering me rates of 15 months, 0% APR on new purchases. And I thought, maybe this is the right way to go. I actually was really scared about it because, for a long time, obviously I'm the focused spender. People think that credit is bad and you should never use credit. And I don't ever want to confuse someone into thinking that, oh, you could just open up a credit card and just buy this and buy that. You have to do these things with a strategic plan in mind. You cannot just do these things willy-nilly. So I decided right before I was going to make the purchase, like literally the week or 2 weeks prior to the purchase being made, I opened up the credit card so that everything would be timed out right, so that I would have the 15 months to pay off the bill. So I got the credit card, made my purchase, and everything was right. I did not pay interest on the credit card at all over the last 15 months. Honestly, I paid off the purchase really fast and then used it for other purchases, and I just kept paying it off. So I got the bonus points, I got all the points. I probably got at least $500, maybe $600 in points over the last 15 months, which was all great. Not a problem there. The issue came when I first made my initial purchase, maxed out my credit card, and saw a dramatic drop in my credit score. So my credit score at the time, it might have been like 760, 770. It wasn't quite 800 anymore. Like years ago, I hit 800, but because I don't have, a ton of credit cards or a lot of other things that will boost your credit, my credit score was only about 760 or 770. And so when this happened, I really wasn't paying too much attention to it because I wasn't in the market of like buying a house or anything like that. But I did get an alert that my credit score had dropped. And when I looked at my credit score app, which is Credit Sesame, it said 670 points. And I nearly lost my mind. I was like, wait, what is happening? I thought I was going to be going from like 770 to 720, 700, but 670 in the 600s, me, the focused spender? I was not prepared. And I was like, okay, what exactly am I going to do? So at that point, I realized I needed to use some outside help to help me figure out my credit score. And outside help, I don't mean like going to a credit agency or like a debt relief program or anything like that. I knew I had free resources that I could use. So one of the free resources that I used was my Credit Sesame app, and it was able to help break a lot of things down for me. Okay, so one of the things about the Credit Sesame app is that it will give you a breakdown of how your score is calculated. So 10% of your score is for credit inquiries. So how many times creditors are scanning your account because you've applied. So if you're constantly applying for credit cards, your credit score is going to go down because those are inquiries into your credit. Then 35% of your credit score is based off your payment history. So are you paying your bills on time? Are you always paying it on time? Or are you constantly paying your bill late? Credit card companies do not want to see that you're paying your bills late, because that could mean that you don't have enough money when the month comes to pay your bills. You're not responsible, and that means you are somewhat of a risk, and that is going to reduce your score. 30% of your score goes to credit usage, and that means what is your overall rate of using your credit. So basically, let's say you have a credit limit of $10,000 and you owe $9,000. Well, that means your credit usage is 90%. So you're using 90% of your overall credit limit. And credit card companies or the credit card agencies, they want to see that you are at about 30% or less. So the next factor in your credit score is your credit age, and that's at 15%. So that basically means how long have you had your credit? Like, what is the average age of your credit? So for me, for years, I only had one credit card, and I've had that credit card since the early 2000s, maybe like 2004. So basically, my credit age was about 20 years. But when you open another credit card, they take the age of the first credit card, the second credit card, and they average that together. So me opening up another credit card divided my credit age in half and made it about 10 years or so. And the last factor in your credit score, which is about 10%, is your account mix. And so they are looking to see the different types of accounts that you have. Do you have a credit card? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a car loan? They don't want to just see a bunch of credit cards. They want to see a mix of things. And that's going to play a factor in your overall credit score. So looking at my credit score and looking at the score that Credit Sesame gave me when they told me how I was doing and why my score had been reduced, I knew that I was fine with credit inquiries because I only opened one credit card. It wasn't like I was opening a bunch of cards. My payment history was fine. I literally have never paid my bill late. I think maybe one time I paid a bill late years ago, and I called Chase and I asked them to waive the late fee, and they did. So like, payment history wasn't an issue for me as well. Also, my credit age was fine, even though I had dropped it from 20 to 10 years. 10 years is still a really long time in credit, in your overall credit age, so that was not the issue. My issue was credit usage and account mix. So I only have the two credit cards. I don't have a car loan. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a personal loan. So that was hurting my score. But I didn't really care about that because I wasn't going to do anything to change that. Like, I'm not going to just open up a personal loan just to improve my credit. So I knew that wasn't a factor that I could change. What really was hurting me was my credit usage, because I opened up a credit card and then I immediately used the entire balance. And my other credit card didn't have that high of a balance either. And I use that for my day-to-day spending. So I went from having 5-10% credit usage to about 80%. Something dramatic that they had never seen from me, and that really tanked my score. So at this point, I knew I needed to fix the situation. I wanted to focus on my credit usage, and I knew that I had 3 options that I'm gonna go through right now. The first option, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I do not recommend it for anyone, and I definitely was not going to do it for me. So the first way you can reduce your overall credit usage is to just open another credit card. That's it. Let's say you have 2 credit cards. Each have a limit of $5,000 each. So now your overall limit is $10,000, and you have used $5,000 in your overall credit. So your credit usage is now 50%. Now let's say you open up another credit card and they all of a sudden decide to give you another $10,000. So now you went from a limit of $10,000 to $20,000. If you still have that balance of $5,000, your credit usage has now gone from 50% to 25%, dramatically dropping. Now it's under 30%. Your credit score is going to go up. However, it's not going to go up all the way like that with no issues, because you've done a couple of things. You have taken a hit to your credit inquiry because now you've opened up a credit card and a creditor has now looked into your credit, so that's going to ding you there. But it's also going to affect your credit age because now you have another young credit card to add to that mix, bringing down your overall average. And then also, you have another credit card that you can play with, and you might decide to start using that credit card and then bring up your usage rate again. So I do not recommend just adding more and more credit cards to your mix. That's not going to help you out at all. So your second option is to call your credit card company, especially a credit card company that you've used for years, that you have a good payment history with, and ask them if they would be willing to increase your credit limit. A lot of times they're just going to say yes, and they'll just do it automatically. That automatically will improve your credit usage, because let's say you had 10,000 and now they're bringing you up to 15. That's automatically going to drop your usage rate. So that is one thing you can do. And then the third thing you can do is just pay the bill off. Literally just pay the bill off. You may not be able to pay the bill off in full, but if you start paying large chunks really fast, or large chunks every single month, it's going to dramatically reduce your credit usage. So what I did was a combination of 2 and 3. My credit card that I had for years and years, the limit was only $8,000, even though I had the credit card for years. And so I was able to have them bump that up really fast with no hits to my credit. And then I also just started to pay off the bill really fast. So I didn't want to pay off the entire $15,000 right away, because the whole purpose of getting the credit card was to keep my money in my savings account so that I could gain interest on that money. So I think I paid like $1,000, $2,000 every month. And I still paid it off relatively fast. I probably paid it off in about 6 or 7 months, if that. And I was using that credit card for the remainder of the large purchases that I had to make. So by the time the 15 months was up, I had a 0 balance on that credit card, and my credit score increased to 805. It took some time. Even after I paid off the bills, it still took some time for it to continue to go up. But I jumped really fast from that 670 into the mid 700s, and then it just kept increasing every single month from there. And I felt a lot better about what was happening. So I know for a fact that you can definitely improve your credit score relatively fast. It may not be overnight, as these credit repair companies will promise you, but you can do it on your own without paying anyone any additional money, but by just literally paying attention to what is happening in your credit report and then chipping away at the things that they're telling you that you need to improve. So I'm gonna leave a link to Credit Sesame in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. However, you can use the app completely for free. I've been using it for free for well over a year now. There is a Sesame Plus program that offers more features. That is a paid program. So if that is something you choose to do, that would be great. However, you can use Credit Sesame for free, and there's other apps. Experian has an app. There's definitely other apps you can use that will help you monitor your credit and help you stay on the right track as you go along in the process. So I hope you like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.